Hi everyone, my name is Chrys. I am doing a reading today from 30 Seconds, my romantic suspense novella that I published in 2014. 30 Seconds is about a woman who gets caught in the middle of a war between a mob, a deadly mob, and a police force. And she's actually believed to be the one who was trying to bring down the mob from the inside. And it's pretty much because of a case of a mistaken identity. And her life gets threatened, and she can only rely on one person, Officer Blake Herro, who is actually the reason why she's in this big ol' mess. 30 Seconds is on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, Kobo, pretty much anywhere you can find an ebook, it's there, and it's $2.99. So I'm going to do a little reading right now. I'm going to be reading from my Kindle, so my face will be lighting up like this. So just pretend that's normal, okay? After pulling an all-nighter at the ER, topped with 3 emergency operations, Dani couldn't wait to sink into bed with a pint of coffee-flavored ice cream. The thought of the frozen dairy stashed in her freezer gave her the extra boost of energy she needed to conquer the last dozen steps. She blindly rounded the curve and rammed headfirst into a solid chest. Strong hands steadied her before she could tumble down the stairs, and she found herself staring into evergreen eyes. She gave the man wearing a knit beanie an exhausted smile. She couldn't help but notice how handsome he was, and how her stomach fluttered with attraction. "I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. Are you okay?" His gaze jumped from the staircase to her. He seemed jittery. "I'm fine, don't worry about it." She wasn't worried about it. At that point, all she could think about was digging a giant spoon into her ice cream. She went to take a step back, and the man yanked her to his chest. Her eyes widened in surprise. "Stairs," he told her. "Oh, right, excuse me." She slipped past him and bounded up the last steps. She had the first apartment on the floor, which meant she was that much closer to her pajamas and cold treat. But she grew impatient while she rummaged through her bag for her keys. Naturally, they were at the bottom. She pulled out a lump of keychains the size of her fist and fiddled for the key with the red dot of nail polish on it. She pushed it into the lock, but the door stayed closed. Mumbling an oath, she gave the door a good hard nudge with her shoulder to dislodge it from the frame. The bang carried throughout the hallway. She had no time to react when a strong force bowled her through the doorway of her apartment, and a large hand plastered over her mouth. The man she had bumped into on the stairs had a firm grip on her as he kicked the door closed behind him. She struggled to get free, but his hold kept her back pressed against his chest. "It's okay. I'm a cop. My name is Blake Herro." He hauled her into the living room. "There are 6 armed men coming up the stairs. We need to hide. Where can we hide?" Her mind went blank. She even forgot about the ice cream. "Where?" he demanded with a quick shake. She pointed to the 6-foot-long, 3-foot-high, handcrafted cedar chest she used for a coffee table. Officer Herro pulled her to it and flung open the lid. "Get in," he ordered. She didn't think twice as she lifted her feet and lay flat on the bottom. He climbed in after her. As soon as the lid lowered, the door to her apartment burst open. He laid a finger over her lips. She nodded. The inside of the chest was so cramped, his back pressed against the inside of the lid. His body crushed hers. Their limbs twisted and tangled uncomfortably. At least he braced himself on his forearms to take his weight off her lungs so she could breathe. "You're positive this is the apartment, Tony?" a man's voice roared. "The keys are still in the door," another man replied. From inside the chest, Dani heard her jumble keys hit the floor. "Check the place," the first man ordered, "and kill anyone you find." Dani's heart catapulted in her chest. She didn't like being stuck inside her grandmother's chest either. It made her feel claustrophobic, and worse, it made her feel like she was in a coffin. She jolted beneath Officer Herro when she heard a loud crash. He cupped her shoulders to keep her still. The 6 men were breaking anything and everything as they went along with their business. She panted with fear. What if they see the chest? What if we get caught? What if my breath stinks and I'm breathing right into Officer Hottie's face? She shut her mouth and let oxygen flow through her nose. Her eyesight slowly adjusted to the darkness inside the chest, and she could see Officer Herro's silhouette. His head was turned, and he was listening to the thuds of heavy boots getting louder. The intruders were coming their way. Then the thunder of footsteps sounded right next to them. "There's no one here, Red," someone announced. "Look for documents," a man ordered, who Dani could only assume was Red. "I want the name of the person I'm going to kill." Well, that's the end of the little reading that I'm going to do for you. I hope that, intrigued you and excited you. And if you have never read 30 Seconds before, I hope you scurry on over to Amazon.com or wherever you prefer to buy your ebooks and one click to get this fun, exciting, dramatic, romantic ebook. Thank you for listening and watching.